Our advertisers help sponsor our content so we can keep bringing it to you for free. Ads not read by me, Mary Payne, do not necessarily reflect the views of Pink Shade. If you prefer to hear the show completely ad-free, head on over to patreon.com/pinkshademonkeys and subscribe. Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Tuesday and we're going to talk about 90 Day the Other Way, Season 4, Episode 10, One Hand Does Not Clap. This is an Egyptian proverb that means it takes two to tango.
Yeah, I can figure that. Yeah.
How you doing, Kimberly?
This is Kimberly, not Amy. I know some people think we sound alike.
People really do. And people are calling for the two of you to do a podcast together to prove that you're not the same person.
It's a Superman Clark Kent thing. We can never be seen in the same room together.
Yes, yes. You guys do sound alike. You do.
I don't
it's a
like the way
voice.
I sound, so apologies to Amy.
You both just have very ladylike, feminine sounding voices.
Oh, yes, thank you. Not this morning, though. I've had a long weekend. I feel like I'm gravelly.
Well, how did your A Date with K&K YouTube go to talk about Yellow Jock? Yellow Jock is episode 3?
You were like French for a second. You were like Yellow Jackets.
Well,
or British.
I was trying to think about what I was going to say, and my tongue got twisted onto the Tums that I just put in my mouth. So, it's a little chalky in there. Yellow Jockeys. Is it episode 3?
Yeah.
Now going into Spanish. Yeah.
Yes, and it went very, very well. We had a great audience, and so I'm excited. Yeah, I'm happy we're doing this. It's really fun.
It's very fun, and I didn't get to watch it, I told you, because I got sucked into watching Succession, which everyone, if you're not watching it, catch up. There's only been 3 episodes. You got to catch up.
Yeah.
And then don't look at anything you see on the internet at all, because spoilers are everywhere, and it's driving me nuts because it just came out last night. It just came out Sunday night.
Haven't watched like the first couple seasons? Are you saying just jump in at season 3?
No, I'm saying
go back.
Get on your couch. What are you doing with your life? Start with season 1. You got to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because that's all led up to this.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I'm proud that I'm fairly caught up. Like I have to watch this season, but I'm caught up because we talked about last week. I missed the boat on Breaking Bad. I missed the boat on Sopranos. I missed the boat on The Wire. And now I'm on the boat, but I'm still on a dinghy beside the boat because I'm still 3 episodes behind, and I don't know what you're talking about that happened last night.
Yeah. Well, there's a boat involved. I'll tell you that much.
Oh my God. Is it like White Lotus with the boat?
No.
Okay. Because I could push happily any of those people off a boat onto a dinghy.
It's so interesting, because there was all that controversy last year about whoever is the guy that plays Kendall.
Mm-hmm.
And what an actor he is, and I'm an actor, and I'm acting, and people generally, including the people that work with him, have quite a distaste for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good. He's very good in that role. He's incredible. So after I watched episode 3, that if you've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. So I watched they do the little after show where they interview the actors and the creator and stuff. And of course, he used a word that I was like, I'm going to need to pause and look that up. He said something like, dramaturgically, it made sense.
Yeah.
Or drama and turgically together. Dramaturgically, it made sense for that. I was like, come on, man. Come on. Quit flexing your Harvard muscle or whatever you got.
You kind of have a dramaturge for this podcast who would be Ingrid. Like, she can kind of look things up for you and see if things make sense and behind the scenes. So it's usually for a play. You have a dramaturge. And someone is studied in dramaturgy. But I've never heard dramaturgically or whatever he said.
Dramaturgically, it made sense.
Dramaturgically.
And I was like, you're just making everybody hate you. Please shut up. Please shut up. And then I love whenever they do the interviews with Siobhan, the sister, the redhead girl, because she's Australian.
Yes. It's like watching the cast of Yellow Jackets. Freaking everyone on the cast of Yellow Jackets is from New Zealand or British, or it's incredible. It's so confusing.
Well, who am I missing? Because I got Melanie Linsky. I got Christina Ricci. They're American.
She's American.
Melanie Linsky, is she Australian?
She's Kiwi. She's New Zealand. Van is Australian, I think. The young Van. And the young Lottie is something. And I think adult Lottie is also something.
Oh, really?
And I mean something, that sounds horrible. I sound like the people on 90 Day Fiancé. She's something because she's not American, and American is what counts. But let's be clear, everyone has an accent, even Americans. When I say an accent, I mean a non-American accent, because I'm a terrible American person who thinks the world revolves around us.
No, you don't.
I don't think any of those things. I sound like I do just now.
Well, I gotta say, the Yellow Jackets, so I did watch it, but I feel like I need to watch it again. You said that like a lot didn't happen. And I was like, well, this happened and that happened, but maybe it wasn't an episode that was action-packed like last week's was action-packed. I think the end of it was crazy.
You can't have every episode like that. So I think it's one of those prepping episodes where it's like a slow burn and we're building up to stuff that's coming.
Yeah, what was the deal with all those birds falling from the sky? And then somebody said, maybe the iron in the water is making them lose their direction, which I think you guys have said before, maybe that had something to do with the plane losing its direction because the iron is like pulling it like a magnet or something.
We did say that because that Lost had a weird like metallic force thing, and they've mentioned iron before on the show. When the river was red,
yeah,
they said it was iron. So I don't know. But the birds thing falling out of the sky also happened on one of Katie and my favorite shows, which is a sci-fi show called Dark, which is a German show on Netflix with subtitles. It's incredible. It's like the smartest show I've ever watched. And I still don't understand it.
It's not for me because the subtitles, so I have to read and I have to think a lot.
You have to pay attention. It's so confusing. You literally have to pause every 3 to 5 minutes and just wrap your mind around who is who. And then you continue on. So you literally watch with the remote. Pause. Look at my diagram. Okay. Continue on. Yeah.
Well, I talked to Ryan Bailey, our friend, last week about Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip. This week I have Deanna Chang on, you guys, to talk about Real Housewife Ultimate Girls Trip. And he was saying about Yellow Jackets, he's like, I don't like it. He goes, I'm not really caught up because I think I was in a bad headspace, but I just felt like it's going to disappoint me no matter what because first season was so good. And he also, Ryan Bailey's an actor himself. So maybe he's looking at it with a different eye. He was like, the writing was so good. It was so good. I feel like it's going to ruin it. He goes, and then all of a sudden we're in the cabin and there's new people there. Yeah. Just like they did in Lost.
Yeah.
I was like, first of all, how dare you talk about Lost? And second of all, I said, Kimberly and Katie will tell you, those are not new people. They've always been there. Now they just have lines.
Well, right? Kind of. There have been people in the background, but I do think they specifically have cast some new people that we're supposed to think have been there the whole time, which Lost did the exact same thing. There was an episode called, I think it was called Nikki and Paolo, and it was literally focused on these two people that were like, had been in the background the whole time that we never kind of noticed. And then they had this whole crazy storyline going on and people were pissed. That was like least favorite episode in the entire series besides the finale.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ryan's like, thing that they did on Lost, which again, I was like, I already told you to quit talking about Lost, but he kept talking about it. He said they made a lot of storylines, but they didn't know how to end them. So they just left things dangling or whatever.
It is frustrating because Melanie Linsky said before she signed on to the show, she did not want to do the show if it was like Lost. She didn't say that specifically, but she was saying like, I don't want to do a show where they don't know where they're going. And it's going to start off really good and then they're not going to have any idea. So she said, I grilled them each season what was going to happen with this character. How is this storyline going to play out? And she's like, they had answers through like season 5. She said they had answers. So it does feel kind of like what Ryan's saying, but I have to trust the process and that they've learned from the mistakes of Lost.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like the She Who Must Not Be Named, the creator of Harry Potter, which is a series that I love, but I do not love her. She really did plan out all 7 books.
Yeah.
At the before she wrote them, and you can tell. And so, and I think it's like Lord of the Rings did this. He did the same thing. And so I think we have to trust the process. Ryan, he's too jaded.
He's too jaded. He's like us also. He watches so much TV. So last night when I was like, I'm going to watch 2 things just for fun. And then I felt this morning the pressure of that decision. Because I hadn't
Isn't it funny
real work done.
We feel like we're complaining about being podcasters, but it is a totally different experience watching TV, like just for fun. And it is such a luxury now. It sounds so dumb. We're like, oh, I have to watch TV and pay attention and take notes. Our job is so nice and
not the same as
cushy, but it's
when
not
you can watch TV and like look at your phone and play Words with Friends, or at the same time. You can't do that,
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is, I'm not complaining. I love my job. I'm very #blessed.
We do, but it does have its own challenges, as I think people understand. Like being an entrepreneur and being self-employed, it does have its own challenges.
Right.
It's like a 24-hour thing. You wake up in the middle of the night thinking of things you have to do.
Yeah.
It never turns off.
Never turns off. So, okay, here we go. Season 4, episode 10. One hand does not clap. Egyptian proverb meaning it takes 2 to tango.
That's I've heard a one-legged man in an kicking contest.
One-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Okay, right. Yeah, we could take this down a lot of real inappropriate avenues. So let's just don't. Let's just say a hand cannot clap. People cannot be alone. It takes 2 people to make a problem. It takes 2 people to whatever. And once again, it's an Egyptian proverb. They're really relying heavily on these Egyptian proverbs because last week was also an Egyptian proverb. So let's start with the Egyptian. We got Nicole, age 38, and Mahmoud, age 30, in Egypt. We start off.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. She's 38. That is shocking to me. And that means she might be thinking about children now. Can you even imagine the horror? The horror of if these 2 have a baby?
They can't have a baby. Nope.
No.
So we start off with a lot of, hi, my love. How are you, my love? Oh, I'm good, honey. Did you sleep well? Okay, my love. And she says, I've lived in Egypt now 4 months. This is the longest I've ever been here. This whole episode was a little bit of a time jump. Right? Yeah. Which is fine. And we're on episode 10. And what did I say? There's 17 episodes. So maybe they're time jumping a little. So she's lived in Egypt now 4 months. It's the longest she's ever stayed there. And they have decided for now to just stop talking about their problems because that is the way to solve them. You just act like they don't exist and they will never come back. This is always works, fail safe.
That's what my therapist says to do.
Yeah. Your therapist says ignore it and it will go away and you will never think about it again. So she says she's still having a hard time adjusting. She basically has no friends and stays in her room 12 hours at a time. Looks like she eats in her room. She does everything in that room. She is living room. Like the movie, like the book, room.
1,000%. Without a child, thank God.
Not even a nice room, really. But it's got a couch. So she says, I've convinced him to go look at a park.
Why does she always sit on the bed then? She always sits on the bed and faces the mirror as she's eating. Issues.
Maybe she's one of those people who has to watch themselves eat so they don't eat too much.
Yeah, I feel like there might be some
that could be
food issues.
So she says, I've convinced him, I convinced him to look at apartments, but he's not into the idea of moving out at all. Even though they show them looking at this apartment, she's like, this is great. And he's like, I don't know. So she says, I have to find a way to get out of here and get out on my own without him. So later that day, she goes to this meditation class. I can't tell if it's yoga or meditation, but she says it's a meditation class. And it's women only meditation class because he wouldn't like it if there were men there. And the leader, who we later find out is named Nouran, which my spell check really doesn't like. Nouran.
Okay. Yeah.
See? I looked at it and it said Nouran. Later it says like Nounan. It's I'm going to bold this so I can remember to say it. This is the correct way to say it. So Nouran, the instructor, and Nouran is beyond stunning. She is gorgeous. I kept staring at her. So Nouran tells her that in New Cairo, you can wear what you want. It's totally different from this area that she lives in. Nouran says, I go out with my friends. We go out to bars. We have fun. We wear what we want, but we're still Muslim women. And she says, Nicole is telling her about how Mahmoud is. And she says, this is how 95% of Egyptian men are, like Mahmoud. They accept you. They love bomb you, basically. But then slowly but surely, they try to change you into what they want. Which just seems like is also what Mahmoud's brother did, right? With his wife that he met in China.
That's the playbook.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she says, eventually they want to make sure it's all under their control. It's all about control. Nicole has her mouth wide open. She's like, what? She goes, my God, I feel so validated just being able to talk to somebody about this. And I have always felt so much love for him, but I definitely feel like I'll never be equal. And
it's like watching someone who's been in a cult and gaslit and being made to feel like they're crazy. And then they talk to someone who's outside the cult for the first time. And they're like, oh my God, it's not just me.
Yeah.
I haven't been crazy.
Yeah. Or who has like left the cult and they're like 1 year removed and you're like, what?
What? There's a world outside and he does this with everybody?
What's the internet?
Yeah.
What? So Nouran says in her talking head, she says, an American woman especially should not agree to these conditions in the name of love. I just want to take Nicole and shake her because she should have her freedom. So I was like, okay, they're going to be new besties and I'm kind of here for it for now. Yeah. I'm here for it for now.
Let's blow things up.
So now they're going to this bridge cafe that's on the Nile. They're having what they call a hummus drink. So it's like chickpeas in a lemony broth.
Did you die when she said she didn't know what hummus was and then you felt really judgy? Because I thought it was like the same with the hijab. I was like, this idiot doesn't know how to pronounce hijab. And then it was different. And then she said like hummus. Oh, is it the drink with the thing? And my parents and I were like, she's such an idiot. She's never Googled what hummus. She lives in Los Angeles. She doesn't know what hummus we felt. And then she's like, hummus is different here. And then I think they're editing it like that. So we get really outraged and then we feel bad.
Because I wrote, what kind of idiot doesn't know what hummus is? And then backed up over it. Because I was like, because in the next scene she explains.
Yeah.
But it sounds like chickpeas in this lemony broth that you eat with a spoon. It's a soup. And I was like, now that actually sounds really good.
Yeah, I would try it.
Good. Yeah, I would try it. So they're literally sitting on a highway overpass next to a food truck. I was like, this is not a cafe. They blocked off one lane of a highway overpass.
That is so dangerous.
How many people get killed on this?
Yeah. This is like when Jen and Rishi had that very important talk and it was like, honk, 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 honk.
Totally. I was like, they are on an overpass. Her hair is being blown by the cars going, I was like, what is this? Because he said it's a bridge cafe. I was like, this is not a cafe.
I would not feel safe there at all. And it was too loud to have a conversation.
And it was nighttime. So it's not like they were able to like enjoy the view of the river or anything.
Imagine like somebody's like windshield like wiper flies off and then it impales you. Like anything coming off of a car that's driving by.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did.
It was wild. So I felt like that was something I should have Googled to see if it's really a thing, but I didn't have time. So she says, I had a great day today. I had a really great day. I loved the meditation class and I have a new friend, Nouran. I got to keep scrolling up to where I highlighted it in red to make sure I don't call her Nouran again. I have a new friend named Nouran. And she goes, wow, she's a strong and powerful woman. She's really cool. And he goes, okay. And he smiles. He goes, okay, my love, I won't say anything about that. You seem really happy from today, so I don't want to ruin that. Okay, my love. And Nicole goes, yeah, you know what she told me? Is most Egyptian men are just like you. They show you a lot of love, but then once you get here, they try to change you. And he goes, okay, no, my love. Okay, my honey. Okay, my honey. And he laughs. He goes, so maybe you don't meet with this friend anymore. I told you to go and have a friend, but now you're going to fight with me or what?
Oh, my love. This is so funny. Maybe you don't see new friend again. Or maybe I wind up on Dateline. Maybe I put Drano in your friend's tea. Oh, my love. It's okay, my love.
The hummus is supposed to taste like acetone. It's supposed to taste like poison. It's fine. So she goes, he goes, oh, so I told you to meet with new friend. Now you fight with me. Okay. And she goes, but my love, maybe you could just meet with her. And he goes, okay, sure. I'd meet with your friend, my love. Okay. This is not normally, I would never meet ever my friend's wife, but okay, sure. Sure. I'll meet this woman in public. Oh my God. Okay. And in her talking head, she goes, you know what? I'm really hopeful that Mahmoud will meet with Nouran and see like, hey, there are Egyptian women that also think like me, and maybe this is going to open his mind.
Nicole, do you really think that's going to happen?
No, Nicole, no. And somebody pointed out in our Facebook group that like, as much as she complains about him trying to change her, she is also trying to change him.
Yes.
So they should just never be together.
100%.
So now they're going to go and meet Nouran at this cafe that they kept showing like pictures of the weird stuff on the wall, like wired. I was like, are they trying to show that this place is like alternative and edgy or that it's falling apart? I couldn't tell.
At least it's inside. I was just like, at least we're off the freeway.
At least we're not on an overpass. So as they're walking into the place, he goes, oh, I love you so much, my honey bunny. I'm here for you, whatever you need, my honey. And
he's adding some new endearment terms. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's learned honey bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Honey bunny, yes. He's learned that these are two words that rhyme, and it's cute. Yeah. So in his talking head, he goes, we see the friend, and she's wearing a short dress with her things are showing, and, I don't like it. I don't like it, but I will not tell her that she should dress as my wife because it's not my place. So my spell check says Nouran, it's not her name.
Yeah.
Starts off a little bit rude, I think, by saying, Mahmoud, I have a lot, Mahmoud, God, I have a lot of diverse friends here, but I've never had one say, you should meet my husband first. And he goes, well, you are Egyptian, so you know how the Egyptian men are. And maybe she's, Nicole has never hung around anybody in Egypt except for me. And she goes, right, but she's an adult woman, and don't you trust her? And he goes, well, you don't say that. She comes in real hot. And he goes, no, of course you don't say that. Like you can't say that. I don't trust her. Okay. So as he's trying to explain himself, Nicole kind of jumps in. He goes, no, 1 second. Let me talk. And they're like, and I was like, I don't think it's that bad. I think both women were talking to him at once. And he was like, let me finish my point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was kind of team Mahmoud in this scene.
He wasn't that bad.
He wasn't being bad at all. Worse. Remember when, what was that guy's name? Muhammad, and her name with the son with the teeth. He was also from Egypt, and he was like, install the toilet, you will get it done. His name was Muhammad, and her name was, people are screaming. Anyway,
wow, I'm screaming at myself. Who are you talking about? The toilet.
Eve, her name was Eve.
Oh, Eve and Muhammad. Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes, with the toilet. Yes, it's all coming. Yes.
You will get it done.
Yeah, he was that creepy
But
voice.
he would come in hot and not act like this. He would fighting and telling, saying gross things to the women. He was awful. So Nouran says, he's a typical Egyptian man, and he only knows one group of people to be around, and he only knows how to act one way, and he feels safe in that zone, and he doesn't know anything else. Well, I don't think that's necessarily a typical Egyptian man. I think that's typical of a lot of people around the world in all cultures.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's I don't think it's such a slam that she thinks it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't ever had an opportunity to learn anything else. And it's not necessarily a slam on him because he may like it. He may like the way he is, So Nouran says, well, will you come to my yoga class? There are men there. And he goes, yeah, meditation, yes, but I don't want her to go to yoga because I don't want her to stretch around men. You can do that, but I don't like any man to look at my wife when she's stretching. And she says, there's men in the class that are there to do yoga and they're not looking at Nicole. And he goes, yes, but Egyptian men, they will look. I would look. And Nouran says, so you're blaming the wrongdoings of men on Nicole. Now she's getting into society as a whole. Okay.
Well, I went out. She needs to bring up her issue with the Bible and with society, because society has always put the onus on the women and blamed them for men looking at them because of their sinful bodies. The Duggars still do the same thing.
Right.
That's why they wear skirts.
It's not just Egyptian men in the Quran she has a problem with.
No, she has a problem with the world, and he is just a mere symptom of it, and he doesn't know better because he's been brought up that way.
And he's not sharp enough, really, and
to do a lot of critical thinking.
And he holds his own here. And she goes, because men look and fantasize, it's the woman's fault. And he goes, no. He goes, in my religion, it is haram for the wife to do that. And she goes, haram, which means forbidden. And he goes, yes. And she says, does it say that in the Quran? And he goes, well, they're not going to say yoga. But God is very clear and says man doesn't look at a woman and a woman has to cover her body. And that was clear in the Quran. And she says, I love my religion. And there is nothing in the Quran that says a man has to be covered totally head to toe and wear a veil. It only in the Quran says a woman should be modest. And he goes, oh, okay, that's the way you read it. And she says, do you think God is fair? He says, yes, of course. And she says, do you think God wants women to sweat and be uncomfortable and be unhealthy by covering their hair? Because it's very unhealthy actually for your hair to be covering it all the time. And then she says, why can't men just be educated enough to see a woman and not harass them?
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of these are great points.
Yes, and I feel the same way.
I feel the same way. But
you're bringing it up with the wrong person. That it's not the time or the place, and that's
you're not going to change the world with this one dude.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's futile.
I agree. I agree with everything she's saying, but you're coming in so hot, you're not giving him an education to show him the way things can be. What you're coming in hot is to show him, if you don't accept it, then I'm going to yell at you.
I feel because she is me on Twitter trying to change someone's mind by arguing these same points, and it never works. No one has ever said, oh, stranger on the internet, you've actually changed my mind. Good job.
Right. Totally. So he says, if I see a woman's legs, I will think sexy legs. And she says, okay, don't you think sometimes a woman can think the same if they see a man's legs? And he goes, no, that would never happen. I can ask 100 women and they would not think that about a man's legs.
You know who likes legs? Misty on Yellow Jackets. She likes a calf.
She does. She loves a good calf. So Nicole goes, okay, honey, I don't know if you could say that would never happen, like all women. And Nouran goes, yeah, that's a wrong perception. And he says, well, how come then when God created us, he didn't give us all boobs? And she goes, because boobs are there to feed babies. It's like a biological thing. It's not there to turn guys on. Again, she's making great points. She's just going about this the wrong way.
Yeah, you've just met this man. You're trying to slowly get Nicole out of his house. This is not the way to do it.
This is like trial by fire, you know? So he says in his talking head, he goes, if you believe in the religion, you have to believe in all the rules. And you can't just take what you want and leave out what you don't like. All the rules are true. So I don't trust her that much.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Yeah. And Nicole
I think all the rules are pretty much made up anyways. So let's do what we want.
Right. Yeah. And Nicole says to Nouran, she goes, yeah, we do struggle a lot with the clothes aspect of it. We do struggle about that. And it's like, speaking of, subjects shall not be named, because that's what they fight about. So they haven't talked about it in 4 months.
You're not supposed to talk about that.
Don't talk about the clothes. And he goes, listen, I am not perfect and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I believe.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. Maybe I'm wrong. He said, but this is what I believe. And then he goes, I love you, honey. Your friend is so nice.
That was hilarious.
And they laugh.
He has a funny sense of humor.
Yeah. He's like, and your friend is so nice. I love her. Let's go eat on a overpass.
Why couldn't maybe the friend could start a yoga class just for women and just to get Nicole out of the house. And then slowly, maybe Mahmoud could come once, see what's happening.
Don't look at the other ladies though.
maybe you divide up the class, what women on one side. I mean, I'm not for any of this, but there should be maybe baby steps.
I agree. So, okay. So then Nicole says, Nouran is a strong woman, and I was very proud of my husband for the way he reacted with her. But at the same time, I'm worried he's never going to change.
Yeah.
So Nicole just says to Nouran, she goes, I love him. We love each other, and we are doing our best. And the talking head on the side, Nouran goes, Mahmoud is not deep. He's a well, I mean, that's the understatement of the year. He's a little dim. She goes,
even his brother said that.
Stupid, village idiot. So she says, Mahmoud is not deep. He's a follower. He has never dug deep into religion to figure out if this makes sense or not. If I was Nicole, I could not handle this. And possibly losing all my freedom, no. She should leave.
I feel like
you've known her. You met her once.
You're talking about more than half the people in the world don't question their religion and just go along with it.
Yeah, of course. He's not an anomaly. He's not. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I think it was very interesting because normally we're so like, oh, he's horrible, or oh, what's wrong with her? But this one was very much like I appreciated her take on it, and I appreciated his take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was interesting, and I would love to have her go along to each couple and have a conversation. Just call it like it is.
Yeah. All right, now let's go to the happiest story that's ever been on this show. It's Gabriel and Isabel.
Oh, yes.
Thank the Lord. Everything is seeming like right now. For now, it's fine. So Gabe is working out at a park, at a public park that has like bikes and like Stairmasters. I was like,
so nice.
So nice. And Dad jogs by, and they're going to work out together. And Gabe says, we've never spent time alone. Like, I'm super nervous. And Dad says, so how did you make this decision to change from, female to male? And he tells him the story. When he was a little girl, he always would like dream that he was a boy. He would pray that he would wake up and be a boy. And he had these body parts. And he explains like, what if you just had like an arm hanging off your arm? And like, you're the only one that could see it. So people would say, your body is completely normal. What do you mean? But you knew that there was a part there that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And he tells him that when he was the other person before, he didn't like himself. He didn't like his face, his hair, his body. He despised himself. And he says, I've made a little photo album for you here, so I'm not going to look at them. But he shows the dad the photos. And he says, every single day when I was a woman, every single day I wanted to die. So Dad says, it's so sad. And Dad says,
but that's true. Like more than 50% of trans youths consider suicide.
Yeah. Because, it's interesting the way he explained it. And he's probably had to explain it a lot. So he had an example at the ready, which was not like, your body, you have boobs and a vagina, or you have a penis or whatever. And people are like, whatever, it's fine. You could just dress like a girl and pretend like you're a girl or whatever. But for him to say like, what if you had like an entire arm?
Yeah.
It was interesting. And then like, what if you had boobs? And all of a sudden you're like, I'm a man, but I have boobs. Like, it was interesting the way he really made him understand it.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. And I think the dad was very curious in a natural way. And I thought that was good. And the dad right away is still using he, him pronouns. He's never changed on that. And he's smiling and nodding.
He doesn't know him as a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Dad tells him it's really terrible that you had to go through that much pain and that you didn't like yourself. And then tells him that, there are things in our past that torture us. We can move on and leave them behind as a memory. And Gabriel says, yes, we can. But for me, it's very difficult. And Talking Head Dad says, my faith in God helped me understand Gabriel's situation. And I didn't know how hard it was for him to make that decision. God calls for me to love each person as they are. And if we could all do that, we would all have respect for people from the LGBTI community. Which is just like, who is this magical man?
This magical, good Christian man.
Yes. So sweet. And then Dad tells him, I really want to thank you for telling me all of this and for trusting me with your story and being so brave. And it's just really sweet. So then they walk over and they sit down. And he asked Dad, basically, like, I love Isabel and I wanted to ask your permission to marry her. And then, of course, they drag it out. But Dad says he's speechless. And he's like, bueno and malo, like good or bad. And he says no in a good way. And he tells Gabe, I've always wanted Isabel to settle down. And now we're all getting to know each other. And I think this is going to be her chance. And everyone, especially me, will be very happy to see you together. And I love it. I love it. He was like, so it's a C? It's not a no? He's like, it's a C.
So and so cute together. They're like best friends.
It's really cute.
Best in-laws ever.
I don't know if we ever heard anything about Gabe's dad. We definitely met Gabe's mom and sister, but I don't think I ever heard Gabe mention his dad.
Yeah, I think
he did say he was raised by a single mom, right?
Yeah. Did his dad die or did he just wasn't around? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. So today, Gabe and Isabel are going to a pottery class. So you're correct because when he said he was going to ask her at the pottery class, I was like, he's going to take her back to pottery? But you were right. He did.
Thank you.
And an instructor, you're welcome. An instructor is showing them how to make the cups. So they make these 4 cups. And so I guess they have to like set and then they have to bake and then they pull the cups out and then they come back and they paint them. It's like a whole thing, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a commitment.
It's a commitment to lots of trips back and forth. So the places we have here, like you go in and it's raw
it's
pottery.
It's one-stop shop.
Yeah. You go to the pottery place. Here's a plate. Here's a bowl. Here's a whatever.
Right.
And then you paint it and then they put it in the kiln and fire it. And then you go back a week later and pick it up. But you don't have to make it yourself beforehand. Dang. So
we have a place here that does that. At the Sawdust Festival, you go and you do the whole kiln and then you have to come back the next weekend and like paint it and stuff. Yeah.
Well, the reason I know about all these paint your pottery, paint it your way, paint your whatever, because a lot of birthday parties.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Spent at those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so she asked him, oh, how was it here when you came with the kids? He goes, oh, it was really fun. Let me show you the plates we made. So the guy brings out the plates and they're really cute. And she's like, oh, they're really great. They're really cute. And then he says to the guy, do you have my plate? And he goes, oh yeah. And then, so it's a plate with a little top on it, right? Yeah. Like a little reveal, right? It's like an upside down saucer maybe. And she looks at it and he gets down on his knee and says, I love you with all my heart. And I love you with all my heart and soul. And you make me feel like I have everything I need in my life. I came here temporarily for work and I never imagined I would stay here forever with the woman of my dreams. I love you and your family. Isabel, will you marry me? Now, he took so long to say this in Spanish that she also just gets on her knees. She's already looked at the ring twice.
Yeah. He could have used a little editor and trimmed it down a little.
It was funny. And so, because Spanish is not his first language and he had like really written it out.
He's very nervous too. Yeah.
So she gets on her knees too. And she says yes. And they hug and they cry. It's like super sweet. And then he tells her about how he asked her kids and he asked her dad and everybody, thought it was great. And in her talking head, she's crying and she says, I love him. I love my ring. I have the man in my dreams that I love. My life is wonderful. And it's so wonderful that he got permission from the kids and my dad. It's just complete happiness. Just complete happiness. I was like, please let everything be okay with these two.
It's like, who else have we cared about this much? Like Kenny and Armando, I really wanted to work.
Yeah. Well, who else? Well, I still follow the fairy tale of John and Rachel.
I was thinking about John and Rachel.
Nobody else in the world. I also feel the same way about Jenny and Sumit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the only one, but no, that's good. No, you're not the only one.
Okay, let's move on to Jeymi and
George.
No.
I liked Kirillem and Alan, even though he was kind of creepy.
Let's remember, he met her when she was like 15.
Yeah, he was kind of
creepy. And he went back for her when she was 18. I liked
her.
So,
I just liked her.
I really like that beautiful girl from Russia and that adorable guy from Maryland.
Yes.
And they have the 2 kids now, and they did separate, but then they got back together. Now they have the 2 kids.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Their names will come to me in a minute. And she is, they had the baby in like the nightmare hospital. the people were like, blood's going to start running down the walls.
Oh my God. Yes.
The second baby, because he left and they came back. Yeah. Okay. They live in New York City.
I'm rooting for Stephen and Olga. Yeah. Is Stephen and Olga, is that who you're talking about? No. Yes. But I am rooting for Stephen and Olga. Yeah.
Not Stephen with the V with the soaking.
No. Stephen, who is like an Uber driver, and he was bad. Like on his season, he was bad, but he did a whole turnaround.
And they have the 2 kids now.
Yes, they have the 2
kids. That's who I'm talking
about.
Yes, and she's so beautiful that you can't even look directly at her. And her parents were like in a cult.
Yeah.
And killed each other or a kid or something terrible.
Jeez.
Yes. Darkness. Okay,
and I'm rooting for Lauren and Alexi still. And David and Annie. But I wasn't during their seasons.
No.
This is post their seasons.
Do you want to keep going with other couples or keep
I'm sorry, I'm done
on this show? Okay.
Sorry, I'm done.
Okay.
We'll never finish. I'm
going to be right in the middle of this. You're going to be like, oh, wait. Okay. All right. Jeymi and Kris. Wow. All right. So it's the day after their wedding. And Jeymi says she just feels so happy and feels so good and so confident now, that they're married. So Kris tells us she's been having problems with her finances since she arrived. You're shaking your head. You think this is bullshit?
No, I'm just like, add it to the list of Kris's ailments.
She says that her bank froze her accounts because they didn't understand because she was charging things from Colombia. Did you call the bank before you moved?
No.
Okay. Because
I call my bank before I go to North Carolina. We have fraud?
Yes. No. So now everything's frozen and she's trying to figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was really on her.
It's really on her. So, however, they've decided to start a business together. They both love to cook. They want to start a food truck. But they want to combine American food and Venezuelan styles and get their own ideas going. They love this zombie bus, which was a school bus that they've made it. So it's really, to me, it's not a food truck. It's like a traveling cafe. To me, a food truck is a much better idea.
Yeah. I've not seen one where you come inside and sit down.
It seems like that would be a whole different licensing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have to license it as a restaurant.
Yeah, good call. But I don't know how that works there.
Well, how would we know?
Yeah, it seems like you could just walk into a parking lot. You don't need insurance or anything or a driver's license. You could just buy this thing, this bus.
And why are they all there together?
Yeah.
Is it an expo? I don't understand what's happening.
Dealer, a food truck dealer.
I guess so. So they really like the one, and the guy tells them the zombie bus is $20,000. The first one they looked at that had everything they needed was $10,000. So I'm not a mathematician, but that seems like double.
Yeah.
So
also
Kris
maybe start small because you are not professional chefs. You are not businesswomen. You don't know what you're doing.
You don't know how to crank out food fast?
No.
Because they're not professional chefs.
No, you don't know where to go, where to park. What if that engine breaks down? An engine can be like $10,000 just for the engine if it breaks down.
Yeah. So Kris is like, well, before we can decide on this, we really have to figure out like what the menu is going to be, how much the cost is of each item, how will we feed a large amount of people since we have no restaurant experience, and if we buy it and it fails, she said, I'm going to be in a bad financial situation super quick. I was like, sounds like you already are in one. So why are you looking into this till you get it worked out?
You just got married. Let's start a business with no finances.
Didn't Jeymi tell us she's like a paralegal or something? So she just needs to be like working her paralegal job. They need to get their self-established before they try to jump into a business.
I think get just to married life for like a year.
Yeah.
Jeymi works at a good job. She can save up. And in the meantime, do your research about food trucks. Go to some food trucks on the weekends and ask the owners questions. Kris
could go work at a knife store.
She would be perfect at that.
She's got options.
Yeah.
So now the next scene we see, I say, it must be a travel day because Kris is wearing another dumb headband.
She loves those.
She loves to wear those things when she travels.
She does. Maybe her ears get cold, but I really think she's just hiding the greasy hair.
Yeah, but she's pre-hiding it because she hasn't even flown 20 hours yet. She's pre-hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
So she's headed back to Alabama today. She's having trouble with her bank, and she found out in Colombia they don't have her narcolepsy medicine.
Why didn't you talk to your doctor and insurance company before you went? If you need this medication.
So she's only been there a month.
2 children?
I don't know. She's only been there a month. She's taken a quick trip back home to take care of these issues. So she gives Jeymi this really ugly necklace and says, I want you to hold on. It was really ugly.
How do you really feel, Mary Payne?
I'm sorry. It was ugly. And she says, I want you to hold on to this necklace, and this will prove to you that I'm coming back. In the car, Jeymi gets a little aggro and goes, if you don't come back, I'm going to sell all your clothes and your shit.
I think she's being nice and she's going to burn her stuff.
I think, yeah.
I think she's going to go Angela Bassett.
Yeah. Kris laughs and goes, I believe you, baby. And Jeymi just glares at her like, you don't look like I'm fucking kidding. So Kris is like, well, at the most, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. So she's going. She doesn't have a return ticket because she doesn't know how long she'll be there. You know what? It's more economical if you don't buy them one at a time. So she's going to be back in 2 weeks or less, and some sad music plays, and she leaves. Jeymi cries and says, it's really difficult because I'm very worried Kris is not going to come back. Seems like when we see the previews, that will be.
What does she say in the preview? Like, it's been how long and I haven't seen your face?
A month.
A month?
Yeah.
It should not take a month to sort this out. It should take a few days to sort.
All right. As I'm watching poor Jeymi cry at the airport over Kris, I was thinking, this girl needs something to help her chill out and not worry so much. Even though, let's be honest, she should be concerned about Kris's not returning because Kris's track record isn't great. If I could, I would tell Jeymi about microdosing. You know, I think this would really help Jeymi not be so doom and gloom and worried. I think she could take like a third of a microdose gummy to take the edge off. For me personally, I have been taking half a gummy to help me sleep. I can't ever sleep. I get in the bed and my brain just spins and spins and spins. And I think about what I have to do the next day. Or more than likely, I remember something that I forgot to do. And then I just lay there and think, I should get up. I should write that down. And then I don't. And then I think about that. And I can never relax to sleep. But taking this half a gummy at night has really been helping me. I've been falling asleep faster and staying asleep, which is also another problem I've been having. Microdosing does have a lot of benefits. It's not just for anxiety and sleep. It can be for a creative boost, which we all need. It can help with pain. It can help with workout and recovery, and even, dare I say, sex. Microdose is available nationwide. To learn more about microdosing THC, you can go to microdose.com and use the code PINKSHADE, and you'll get free shipping and 30% off your first order. 30% off is a lot. You guys should do it. So again, you go to microdose.com and use the code PINKSHADE, altogether one word, to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. And links for the discount code can be found in our show notes. Thanks. All right, let's move on to Debbie, 67, and Ossauma, 24. Your talking head, she says. Things are going better with Ossauma after a rocky start. Ossauma has a wonderful plan. We're going to go to a poetry reading at an international cafe. Wow.
So I was so excited for this scene, and it did not disappoint.
So they go and they sit down, and she says, wow, there are a lot of young people here. Is this a young people place, Ossauma? So we see some poetry readings, which are, listen, I'm not into a poetry reading. Bunky Amy is actually a poet, and she loves this kind of weird poetry shit. That's why she loves Sidian from Seeking Sister Wife. I don't want to go to a slam poetry. I don't want to go to a poetry. No.
That's how you know that Amy and I are the different people, because Sidian makes my skin crawl.
Yeah. Oh God. So she's ready to jump right in. You know, I sent, she put a picture of Sidian and her together, and I put it on our Instagram and tagged him, and literally Sidian and Tasha within 4 minutes both wrote me. And both of them said, this is great. Where's Tasha?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, Amy, can you redo it and put Tasha? She's like, no, I won't. I won't.
That's the best. That's
all right. So we see some poetry readings, which I think are pretty good.
It is. And the funny part is, like, one woman is like, my inner child is bleeding. Like the saddest stuff ever. And it keeps cutting to Debbie, who just looks so serenely smiling. Like she's on cloud 9. And this woman's talking about her inner child is bleeding.
Yeah, she's like, look at all these little children up here reading these poems, Ossauma. So he gets up to read a poem about my fiance, DB.
I'm so surprised he stood up, Ossauma. You didn't think he was going to stand up?
She says, it feels good to hear him talk about how much he loves me in front of people. And it's reassuring me and erasing that rough start we had. This is it. Ossauma is the man I've been waiting for. Here's a terrible poem. The name of the poem is I Think of You.
Well, first when he says my fiance Debbie, it does the quick cuts of all the people there looking at Debbie on the sides of their eyes and smile, but not in a mean, judgy way. It's more in the way of we would do it if we were at a restaurant and we oversaw something. We would be like excited that there was drama and excited that there was gossip.
Okay, don't look right now. But in a minute,
God, this is the best thing ever.
Pretend like you're looking for the bathroom. Okay,
I'm so glad we came to the Olive Garden. This was a good decision.
Okay. The name of the poem is I Think of You. As the sun setting in the sea, you sail to my dark world. You make all the poems dancing. Are you the Messiah of the worlds? Your words are deeply like the Bible. Touch me, hold my bones, my heart, and everything breath inside me. You, the beautiful poem. Your time has come to be alive, to dance, and to sing.
It sounds like an AI poem, like you put in words and then the computer made it.
It also sounds like you sail into my dark world and now is your time to be alive, but pretty soon it will be your time to die.
The darkness inside of me will swallow the smile on your face.
And no one will come looking for you.
No.
Yeah.
And everyone's loving it, like clapping, cheer. It's like encore. Like they're so into it. Is that
it made no sense. It made no sense. And I understand this is his second language, but he told us that he writes his poems in English because he could reach a wider audience.
Yeah.
But this is bad translation.
Right.
It doesn't make sense at all.
It does sound like he's using a translator app. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, he's going to murder her.
1,000%. And everyone at that cafe is a witness to the beginning of the end.
Yeah. Yep.
And someone should have stepped in. But they're just clapping for more because they're us and they're excited for the drama.
They're also like, where is his fiance? Is she here?
I thought that was his grandma who was watching him proudly.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking. They're like, he said fiance, but I don't see her. So in his talking head, he says he's never done anything like this before. But with her there as his missing part, he was able to do it. And he wants to prove their love to everyone. And he tells her, Dibby, my love is true, and I will show you with my actions. And her talking head, she said, I'm tired of all the disappointment, and I hope I'm doing the right thing by trusting Ossauma again. Spoiler, you're not.
She says, this makes me believe in people again, Ossauma. What does that mean?
I don't know. She's been
his poem and the fact that he read it in public makes her believe in people again. Yeah.
To have a man claim her in public is all she wants.
Yeah.
Listen, I got to say something. I've been there. All right.
Oh, no. Wait. Are you done?
With those two, yeah.
Okay, because she says, this is the refreshment I needed. I was dying of thirst. He brought me a cold glass of water.
She also says she feels drunk with excitement.
She has a lot of metaphors. She has all. She's a poet as well. She has all the metaphors.
I feel like I drank cognac. Yeah.
Yes, she does. She kind of always acts a little tipsy, though, doesn't she?
She's the crazy aunt, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now we go to Daniele and Yohan, two people that really need to call it a day time of death, whatever, and be done with this charade. This is ridiculous.
They wrote,
hate each other.
Boring, but good for her for taking drunk driving seriously. That's the only note I wrote for their entire segment.
Let me tell you what, next time you know a friend is drunk driving, are you going to use this method? Just sit on them.
I mean, it worked. It was effective.
So they're at their celebration drink.
Should Dare take over this and have Danielle be a spokesperson? Sit on your friend.
I would like next time she wants to drive, I want him to sit on her.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm not giving you the keys. Yeah. So at their celebration drinks, they're still celebrating their 1 year together. They're still talking about having friends who you used to be in a relationship with. And he says, I don't have any females that I was in a friendship with that I had a relationship with. Like, that's just not what you do. And you don't get it. It's a different culture. And he was like, no, I'm not going to go meet this guy. No, I have no interest in meeting this guy. I'm not going to meet this guy. And she's like, why not? Why not? And he goes, because I'm not. I don't want to. And the talking head, she goes, this is really childish of him and not the relationship I want to have. Okay, then go home.
It's never been the relationship that you wanted.
No. But she's given up that getting to the 20-year mark of serving the New York City public schools where she could have gotten $10,000 more a year. She's got to stick with it. So in the talking head, he says, you know what? She's just going to do what she wants. She has no consideration for what I want. And relationships don't work that way. She is disrespectful, and the way she's acting is making me see her differently. Okay, well, it's not the first thing she's done. So he tells her, listen, if you want to go and see your friend, you go. But after that, you'll know the consequences. You're not showing me respect. And she goes, okay. So they get up and she goes, let's don't have a conversation about this when you're like this and when you're mad. We'll talk about it later. And he goes, I'm not mad. We could have a conversation now. And she goes, no, let's just go. So they get ready to go and he has the keys. I'm going to drive. And she says, no, I'll drive. And he's like, no, you won't. And she says, mi amor, no, I won't get in the car with you when you're like this. And he says, okay, go catch the bus over there. It was like, oh my God. He hates her. He hates her.
Oh, absolutely.
And she says,
and he could just wave his arm like he's swatting a fly and just kill her by accident. Sorry, that's horrible. But they might wind up on a Dateline.
Well, if she sat on him. So, I mean, if he sat on her. So, she says in her talking head, she goes, no, he's had a few beers and I'm not going to let him drink and drive. So, I had to sit on him. And then they show them in the car and they're both in the driver's seat with her sitting on top of him.
How did they even fit? Was that seat? Oh, because he's so tall, the seat must be pushed very far back.
It's all the way back. And how do you think she did? Did she back it up? Boop, boop, boop. I'm coming in. Sit on him? Or what? And do you think that the cameramen and the producers are like, what is happening here?
Keep the camera. This is the best thing that's ever happened.
The camera. So, and she's like, I'm not getting up until you give me the key. So finally he gives her, because he goes, get out and I'll get up. She goes, no, I'm not getting out until you give me the key. So he does.
No soy Warren Buffett, but if I was the editors for this show, I would have used this in every preview leading up to this episode where she's sitting on him in the car.
She's sitting on him. God, it's funny. So in the talking head, she's like, if this is going to piss him off like this, he's going to be miserable the majority of our relationship because I have a lot of people in my life that he won't be fond of. And he's right. She has no bend. Everything is her way or the highway.
Yeah.
She has no respect for him and his culture. None. So in the car, she says, okay, so because she wants to pick a fight on the way home. She goes, so you're saying I can hang out with my friend, but then there are going to be consequences. So what are those consequences? You're going to leave me. You're going to go off with another woman. And he goes, the consequences will not be good. Is that clear?
Dateline.
When you come back, you'll see the consequences. You just play dumb when you want to. And she goes, oh, okay. When I come home, it'll just be a surprise. I'll be surprised. He goes, right. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's the end of their scene. I was like,
they actively hate each other. This is.
I mean, for him to say, and then she goes, what are the consequences? He's like, you'll find out. He
threatens her. I mean, what is that?
It's either I'll be gone or I'll be fucking another girl in our den or I'm going to pound you to the ground. Like, what is it? I
can't even comprehend what the many consequences could be.
Yeah. I mean, he is like fully threatening her. So now we go to Rishi and Jen. So Rishi, we start off with a real weird scene.
Oh my gosh.
In my opinion. He goes to see his friend Natish, who's an astrologer. So at first I was like, ooh, I love these astrology scenes. I love them in Indian matchmaking. I love them in
Jenny
Family
and Submit.
Karma. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. But no, what we get is they're just meeting at a dance bar where the women there do a dance called the Mersha. Please forgive me. I spelled it. I don't know if I'm saying it right. The Mersha. And he goes, no. It's not like an American like strip club. The women just dance to entertain you while you hang out.
I was watching with my parents, and my dad goes, "This is like a strip club." And then my dad goes, "This is like a strip club." And Rishi on the screen goes, "This is not what you would call a strip club."
She doesn't strip, but she does gyrate on the floor.
1,000%. It is the Indian version of an exotic dancer club.
Yeah. And he says, it's not like a strip. The women just dance to entertain you while you hang out. I was like, but you weren't hanging out. It was 3 of you in the room.
Yeah.
What?
Also, that's kind of what an exotic club is. It's like a bunch of people hanging out, watching the dancers for their entertainment.
True. So another woman brings them a hookah, and Rishi tells Natish, Jen's coming back. She's coming back tomorrow, and I'm so excited. And Rishi says, so what have you seen? What is the date that I can tell my family the date? And Natish says, destiny-wise, it's going to be difficult for you to get married because astrologically, your traits don't match. However, August 2nd around 4 p.m. will be the best time for you to talk to your mother and your family. This is what happened on Family Karma. The astrologers came in and were like, your wedding time has to be 8 a.m.
That's crazy. What if
everybody was so hungover and could barely walk, and they had to get on all those outfits and everything.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what if there's daylight savings time and they didn't calculate that in? It's very specific.
It's super specific. And it's
but they believe it. It's the same thing with Submit and his parents. They believed they hated Jenny. And then the astronomer was like, or astrologer said, no, I think that this will be okay if it's this. And they're like, okay, we hate her, but this is what he said.
Yeah. So August 2nd around 4 p.m. will be the best time for him to talk to his mom and his family. That's 50 days from now. So we're kind of getting an idea of when this was filmed, right? June. So now we see Jen landing, and she's going to meet him at the apartment. And she's like, I'm still disgusted by that picture that he sent to Randy. And telling the family now just seems like an afterthought because I have to talk to him about sending this picture to Randy. So she arrives, and he has flowers, and he's made the apartment nice. It seems to me this is the same apartment.
I think it's the same apartment, but it has maybe towels and toilet paper in it. Because remember last time she could not go poop, and she was shivering with no blankets, no towels.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So he was showing her the dishes and everything. She's like, oh, wow. Okay, this is like before. Like she kept saying like before. And so she's happy to see him. They smooch in the street. And he's like, oh, last time I saw you was right here in this spot. And he's gotten her an air conditioner. She's very happy about that.
That's a must.
That's a must. So, and he shows her a big box of blankets that he got. And he says, you've traveled a lot and it's so hot and humid here. I was thinking we'll go to the spa and get the massage with the oil drip therapy. She was like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. So they go to the spa and they give her like undergarments to put on. And then he's allowed to just wear a towel. Is there more to this oil drip therapy, or is it all on the head, or do they get the oil and rub it on your body as well?
Yeah, I was confused about that. It didn't seem also refreshing. It seems sticky. And like if I was hot and sweaty, I wouldn't want oil on me. I would want to jump in a pool or something cold.
Well, I was wondering is after this, they wash your hair for you and then you get into something cold. Yeah, I don't know. But any kind of spa treatment, I'm there. I don't really care what you do to me. I'm just at the spa and like laying down and somebody's doing something.
I mean, if he's been using it on his hair and he has the best hair in the village.
Yeah.
Maybe it's great. Right. What was that oil he said at the very first episode? Onion oil.
He said onion water. But Keisha schooled me on that and told me that onion water is actually very good for your hair. And everybody knows that in the world.
Wow, I did not know. I'm sorry, Keisha.
I didn't know either. So they get the undergarments on and she's like, I haven't seen him shirtless in a long time because we haven't been intimate. And then she says, I mean, he's not ripped or anything, but he is an attractive man.
I'm glad she said it because I can't say it because I'm not allowed to body shame people.
I don't think it's body shaming. I think it's fact.
I thought he was a fitness model.
Well, in the photos that he sent to Randy, he's a fitness model. And he is ripped. But, COVID was hard on all of us.
So absolutely, 1,000%. No shame. I don't have a single app, but...
No. But it's funny that she's like, he's not ripped. I was like, oh, it's not a great ad for his business. So anyway, they lay down on these tables to do the oil on the head and the massage and everything. And Jen is saying, to get this hot oil drip there, it's very hypnotic. It's mesmerizing. I was like, quit talking. Quit talking. This is why a couples massage, anything together is always a bad idea. My husband and I did it one time on our honeymoon, almost 23 years ago now. We went and got like a couples massage, and I did feel the need to talk the whole time.
Right. But now do you feel like now you've been married long enough where you can have comfortable silence?
Yes, but we literally finished that couples massage because like we were on our honeymoon, felt like we had to.
Yeah.
And we literally go, we never will do that again. That was awful because we were talking to each other and you can't like enjoy, like close your eyes and enjoy the massage or tell them this hurts me or that hurts me. No, you're talking to somebody else about are they working on your shoulders over there? Hey, how your feet? I mean, it's weird. It's weird.
And on these reality shows, the producers always prompt them to like talk about their relationship or something.
Yes. It's always so weird. So they're talking way too much. So she says, I'm concerned about getting it out of my hair. Oh my God. And it was literally dripping out of their hair onto their bodies. And then she goes, I haven't seen you in a towel in such a long time. Wow. And he's like, oh, yes, not ripped, but pretty good. And then she goes, so this sort of prompts me to ask you a question. You get a lot of girls that contact you on social media.
Speaking of towels.
Speaking of
who
you
else
holding
has
a towel
seen you in a towel?
Your junk. Speaking of that, did you watch Darcy and Stacey this past week with Zach and his towel in his area on his pictures?
No.
Darcy's got this new guy, allegedly, who's probably not a boyfriend at all.
From the matchmaker? Or no, a different guy.
A different guy.
From a friend.
From a friend.
I only half watch. I watch the previews and the previously on because there's no pillow talk.
The Zach guy is hot.
Oh.
I mean, hot. And I don't mean hot in any way other than he's objectively beautiful man.
Wow.
Yeah. So that means it's probably all fake. So she says, do people contact you a lot on social media? And he goes, yeah. And it's not a new thing for me. It's been happening to me, since I was modeling. I just reply. They're social media friends, is what I say. And she goes, okay. Do you ever arrange to like meet them? And he goes, no, never. I just reply, like social media reply. She goes, okay. So are you going to stick with that answer? And he goes, yeah. And she goes, because I do know you replied to someone and we're arranging to meet up with them. So is this your final answer? You have amnesia? And he just looks at her and goes, yeah, I've never said that to anybody. She goes, okay. So she pulls up the screenshots that she got from Randy. And he goes, nope, nope. I just replied like whatever back to the person. Nope, I never wrote that. And she says, okay. So you never replied anything to these posts. And she says, well, why does it say right here, you send me pictures? No. She says, you send me pictures like this, and now it means nothing to me. And a talking head, she goes, I feel so up and down in this relationship. Like I give him a chance to come clean and then he doesn't and he lies. And he doesn't take this seriously. And if he doesn't see this situation as concerning, it's the end of it. So she shows him the text messages that he wrote that say, hey, I see you're in Shapur now. We can meet up. And then later he wrote, oh, why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't remember. I don't think I wrote this. She goes, well, you did. It's right here. And he goes, I don't think so. She goes, no, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't think so. And she goes, nope, you're lying. And he goes, I'm not lying. And she's like, you are lying. And he's like, ruh, ruh. So that's the end of 90 Day, The Other Way, episode 10.
And next week, they're still in their towels fighting.
All right, let's see. Let me go to next week. Okay, next week on, Debbie and Ossauma are going to stay with his family. And she says, I'm so nervous to meet his mom and dad because of the age difference thing, Ossauma. Yeah. Gabriel and Isabel meet with a lawyer And she tells him she's going to need his passport and his birth certificate. And he says his birth certificate says female on it. And she says, well, I need a birth certificate that says male.
When I was watching with my parents, my mom gets so into these shows, like we're watching Law and Order or like Dateline, and she goes, oh my God. Oh no. Oh no. Because we're all like rooting for them so badly. Like, there's, oh no, the paperwork. Oh my God.
But I will tell you that Kris and Jeymi just got married. They're a same-sex couple. So there is a way around this in Colombia, is what I'm telling you. I'm sure he doesn't want his marriage certificate to stay.
But he says all of my paperwork is gone or something. All of the records of my transition.
Yeah.
Was there a fire that we don't know about?
Why do I feel like there was a fire?
Right?
I feel like there was a fire. He says, yep, this is Gabriel says, yep, everything was going so good. And now life gave me a hit and said, not today, buddy. And that's when he says, all my evidence of my transition is gone. But I mean, you can get these documents. You're going to have to go back to the States just like Kris to get your documents. Oh God, never come back. Yohan gets mad at Danielle and says, so you want to go and see your friend the day before my birthday? How do you think I feel? You're the one who has to explain things to me. And she starts crying and goes, my whole life is for you. My whole life is for you.
This is like someone who's like, I can't believe you're getting married a week before my birthday. That is so disrespectful to me.
Yeah. So I think what it is that it's their birthday. I think it is his birthday and they're at a celebratory thing. And then she sort of lets it slip that she saw the guy the day before.
Okay.
She didn't tell him. Yeah.
Still, it really has nothing to do with your birthday.
No, it really.
The world does not revolve around your birthday.
Jen tells Rishi, I don't think I can trust you. And he goes, you can check my mobile right here. You can see. And then she's like, she looks and there's an emoji of a rose. And she goes, so why are you sending this person roses? He's like, I just send them the things and then they write me back. I don't know. Accidentally, I send naked picture and say, meet me later. I don't know what happens.
He's acting like he is so pure and innocent. Like he doesn't know what any of this means.
It's hilarious.
Like he doesn't know what nudity means. He's like before in the Garden of Eden. Like he doesn't know what nudity means. He doesn't know what the gesture of giving flowers emoji is to someone. He's like, what is it? The flower. I don't understand. Oh, that means romance? I had no idea.
Remember when Yolanda and the Williams, and she was like, he always sends me flowers. Right here, he sent me a rose.
Who does that? Who is that romantic that sends me heart and flower emojis? Oh my gosh. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
So Jeymi calls Kris. And she is crying. They're on a FaceTime. And she's saying, I called you and you never answer me. I text you all the time. Please, please call me when you can. But you never can? And Kris says, when I don't answer the phone, you know what I'm doing? I'm working to send you money. And then Jeymi says, this is the first time I've seen your face in a month. And Kris storms off. Now, what happened to 2 weeks?
So she went over and she started being a security guard again to make money for the food truck? I don't understand. Why does she have 2 scrunchies on each elbow?
At all times.
Why are the scrunchies up on her elbows?
She has every hair accessory that she owns on her person at every time.
So she can just be ready to fly back. That's it. She doesn't even need to pack. It's like Joey and she's wearing all of Chandler's clothes. She's just ready to go.
Could I be wearing any more scrunchies? Yeah. All right. Tell everybody what is happening over on A Date with Dateline. I've already watched Dateline from this past Friday, so I'm ready for your episode. But tell us about it. Yes,
we're doing our second Mank in a row, and Mank will be coming on our show again to talk about it because we can't keep him off. And he just invites himself on. But we love him so much. So we're so excited to talk to him. I don't know when that's going to be, but we're excited. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're doing Yellow Jackets every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. EST.
Have you gotten any blowback on that 10 p.m. EST situation? Because it's very late for mommy.
Absolutely. A little bit of blowback, but we're just trying to do it so everyone can watch. And so that's right after it airs on DirecTV or cable or whatever. We might change it eventually and go earlier. But if you watch it after, that's still fine. We're getting tons of people watching after. So
I'm going to watch after.
But the live chat is really fun.
Yeah.
People are hilarious in the comments with the conspiracy theories going.
Like me.
Like Mary Payne's.
Yeah, I'm in there with all the conspiracy theories. Well, how long was the one that you did this week? How long did you guys talk?
Much shorter. It was about an hour 15. So, okay. And I think we'll get down to like an hour.
Yeah, I was like, they talk for 2 hours about a 1 hour show. And Ryan's like, oh, I'm in. I'm in.
We just can't stop ourselves. But Katie gets very restless. She gets very fidgety. So like I could talk forever, but she's like, the cats start coming in and distractions, and she's a little antsy. But I could do like we Love to Hate Everything. Jody and Amanda, who are friends of ours, they do the Sister Wives live chats, and they'll talk for like, no joke, 4 hours about a 1 hour episode.
No, I can't.
And it's like, that's such a commitment. It'll take me all week to listen to it. And then I'm ready for the next one. But people sit there the whole time, I think, and watch. Or they just come and go. It's like hanging out at a party. And then you just like leave or come back or whatever.
Yeah. Well, always whenever I'm in the chat, I'm like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. In case you're looking for some more of my witty comments, I gotta go.
Where's Mary Payne? She didn't make a joke there.
It's 11 p.m. and it's my bedtime. Yeah. Okay, an hour 15. All right, I'm gonna put that on later on. I've got to go do some things outside, and so I will put it on. I'll put you guys in my pocket and listen to you.
I love that.
That's what I'll do. You should just be with me, and anytime I look at my phone, I'll be like, there they are. There are their faces right there. All right, you guys, make sure you follow Kimberly and Katie on social media at Dateline, and again, don't go look at any social media between now and when you watch the first 3 episodes of Succession. I don't want it to be ruined for you.
I'm just going to stay off Twitter completely today, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Instagram too. And guys, follow us on Instagram, please, at Pink Shade Pod. And then there's a link here in the show notes that will be, we have a weekly newsletter called The Pink Sheet. And that comes out on Mondays, and we'll tell you what's going on with the podcast, like who the guest's going to be, what are we covering, because it's hard to keep up.
Subscribed to the Pink Sheet.
I hope you are too. Your face appears every week.
Oh, I did. I remember because I go, where did she get that picture? Oh, that's in the LA Times article, I think.
If you have a different picture, please send it to me.
I do have a different picture, actually.
Okay, all right, I'll tell Ingrid. Okay.
But it's fine.
All right, thanks everybody. I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.